The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Longman Simplified. English series. Read by Duong Han Thai Phumma. Chapter 8. Potter is oriented. Just before midday, the whole village was electrified by the shocking news. It was reported that a bloody knife had been found close to the murdered man. Somebody had recognized it and stated that it belonged to Potter. It was said that a villager, delayed on his way home, had come across Potter washing himself in a stream about 1 o'clock in the morning, and that Potter had at once cleared off. These were suspicious circumstances, especially the watching, which was not a habit with Potter. Horsemen had gone in search down all the roads in every direction, and the sheriff was confident that he would be captured before night. Of course, the pupils were given a holiday that afternoon. All the villagers were flocking to the graveyard. Tom's heart broke within it, and he joined the procession. The dreadful place drew him like a magnet, in spite of himself. There somebody pinned his arm. He turned and his eyes met Huckleberry's. Poor young fellow, 'tis ought to be a lesson to grave robbers. Potter will hang for this if they catch him. These were the general remarks. Now Tom shivered from head to heel, for he caught sight of the stern face of Redskin Joe. At this moment, the crowd began to hurry forward, and voices shouted, "It's Potter! He is coming himself! Look out! He is turning! Don't let him get away!" People in the branches of the trees over Tom's head said that he was not trying to get away, but that he only looked doubtful and lost. The crowd fell apart now, and the sheriff came down leading Potter by the arm. The poor fellow's face was as white as a sheet, and his eyes showed the fear that was in his heart. When he stood before the murdered man, he put his face in his hands and burst into tears. "I didn't do it, friends," he moaned. "I swear I didn't do it." "Who accused you?" shouted a voice. Potter raised his head and looked around him with a terrible hopelessness in his eyes. He saw Redskin Joe and exclaimed, "Oh, Joe, you promised me that you'd never. Is that your knife?" As the sheriff thrusting it before him. Potter would have fallen if they had not caught him. He murmured, "Tell them, Joe, tell them. It's no use." Then Huckleberry and Tom stood dumb and staring, and heard the stony-hearted liar make his statement. They expected every moment that the clear sky would deliver God's lightnings upon his head, and wondered to see how long the punishment was delayed. When he had finished, and still soon alive and whole, their weak intention to break their oath and save the poor, betrayed prisoner's life faded and vanished. It was plain that this villain was under the protection of the devil, and it would be fatal to interfere with the agent of such an awful power as that. He had now become to the most horribly interesting person they had ever looked upon, and they could not take their eyes off his face. They inwardly resolved to watch him at night when they had an opportunity, in the hope of catching sight of his dreadful master. Tom's fearful secret and troubled conscience disturbed his sleep for a week after this, and at breakfast One morning, she said, "Tom, you talk in your sleep so much that you keep me awake half the night." Tom paled and dropped his eyes. "It's a bad sign," says Aunt Polly. "What is worrying you, Tom?" "Nothing, nothing that I know of." But the boy's hand choked so much that he spilled his coffee. "And you do talk such queer nonsense," she continued. "Last night you said, 'It's but.' That's what it is. You said that over and over again." Aunt Polly came to Tom's relief without knowing it. "It's that dreadful murder," she said. "I dream about it almost every night myself. Sometimes I dream that I did it." Every day or two during this time of sorrow, Tom went to the prison, a little brick building at the edge of the village. When he had a chance, he slipped a small comforts, such as tobacco and matches, through the barren's window to the murderer. These gifts greatly helped to ease Tom's conscience. The village girls had a strong desire to whip Redskin Joe for body snatching, but he was regarded as such a dangerous scoundrel that nobody was willing to take the lead in the matter, and so it was given up.